What I was saying there was that these birds of prey, you've noticed this in females. Right? Once again, you don't have to have the negative emotional reaction they're hoping for. Right? You don't have to trigger this negative reaction. Even feeling pity for them in the long run is a negative reaction, right? Because they're trying to exhaust you by getting you to feel pity and empathy and sympathy and compassion for this fucking shite, you know? And wait for it. Online, there are websites dedicated to like empaths, which are run by female megalomaniacs who talk constant shite about themselves. And even like the world's leading lights on narcissists and stuff like that say these are vicious, brutal, maniacal psychopaths. And it's very, very true. And I'll be exposing all them in other videos and so on and so forth. So, what I'm pointing out to you is really simple, right? These birds of prey, right, are addicted to, there's no meaning to their life. You have meaning to your life. You get compassion, feelings, emotion, morality, conscience, depth. You're a loving, deep, true, real, authentic human being. They're a phony, fake, imaginary, pretend self, really, with this megalomaniacally arrogant scumbag that they truly are, above it all, acting out, needing shot through the fucking mouth. And that's it in a nutshell. These subhuman cunts stand in front of you and behave in a manner they hope you choose to feel like killing them because of, right? That's what these pieces of dirt want to reduce you to, right? Right? Any way they can, whether it be through pity, whether it be through anger, whether it be through saying something the cunt knows is bullshit and hopes you choose to feel frustrated into explaining to the unitard what it already fucking knows, right? So, they're pieces of shit, and like I said, I've studied them, deconstructed them, and it was only by just like me being absolutist, leaving no stone unturned, thinking, well, I first started studying them at 4.5, where I realised if you just ignore what they've said and tell the truth about them, it devastates them. It's just like batter and fuck at them. You don't even need to touch them. Just tell the truth. You know, if you meet one of them, say for example, you walk into, there's a girl I'll be exposing, and you walk into a bank and say you meet this wee cow. Basically, in a nutcake, and she starts her pish, you know, because she's been looking at your profile on FaceCrack, and she's wanting to get a quota of squawking done, behind which the hate-consumed wee dick doesn't imagine herself to be a bad person. She's evil incarnate, but she sees herself as being a martyr, right? And she's a bigot who wants to take advantage of the invading army, having emboldened her to this extent. You're in mental bondage. So here she comes, and she gets her quota of squawking about any tiny point she can target, right? She's done her job for years. She pretends you should know her job as well as she does. And she intends to try to psychologically abuse you for sexual pleasure and histrionic pretenge, right? Now, you don't have to have any emotional reaction to the fucking wee piece of crap, the inbred, primitive, primordial slimebag. Because I discovered people who are obsessed with psychological abuse, as I mentioned earlier, don't have function in those key areas of the brain because they're primitive. So they target areas of your brain they don't have function in. They're a mutant brain. That was rejected by all your ancestors, and then inbred again, and then developed moral people whom they then betrayed, and now it's almost all over by the screaming, because they're marauding, fucking hate-consumed, hellbound garbage, and I'll prove it in a flash. So here's the thing, the wee piece of shit is ready to have a go at you, and she thinks you don't know that she's a sex offender hiding in plain view, who behind it all is secretly a sad martyr who needs shot through her face, right? The subhuman cunt preys on anything you say that you know you can't be expected to know. She's done her job for years, and she pretends you're stupid because she's fucking stupid. She wants you to feel that you're stupid because she's a stupid fucking evil cunt, right? And so the stupid evil cunt squawks about something that you haven't, you know, signed correctly or whatever, according to the rules of that nonsense, right? And she's got a phony, what she hopes is plausibly deniable, excuse to scream in front of you, right? For which you shoot the cunt through the face or break her fucking neck. You kick fuck at her until she stops breathing, right? However, you don't have to have an emotional reaction to it, right? When I was 4.5, you know, you're surrounded by other people, but this person would come up to me when I was on my own, and the spastic, targeted me. And so I just knew what she was saying wasn't true, or what he was saying. I just said to them, you're as hideously ugly as fuck. You're as thick as shit. And your clothes look like something you got out of the bin. Your hair, it's got you've got one strand depth of hair. You're as ugly as fuck and as thick as shit. Your shit's fucking garbage, you wee lying prick. And then I'd step my foot towards them. I wouldn't even need to, and they'd already be off. Horrified, because in their tissue of lies, the subhuman cunt wants to say something to you that somebody else has said to them. Behind it all, these pieces of shit genuinely bullshit themselves, they're innocent, even whilst trying to psychologically abuse someone and delude themselves they can pass a parcel into you. What I'm saying is, you can shoot somebody in the face without having any emotional reaction to them whatsoever at all. As I've said, and I've been copied in saying, basically, when you take your best shot with a gun, or a rifle, what have you, take a deep breath, hold it, and pull the trigger. And that's your best. Not when you're going, hey, your best shot is not when you're raging. It's when you're completely calm, And so somebody squawking whore goes at you, right? She's hoping to shock the monkey. She's hoping to do to you what happened to her earlier, right? And it's got nothing to do with you. So in a nutshell, she is the scum of the fucking earth. She's a piece of fucking garbage. And let's try it, right? Take a deep breath, just smile, and just say, you're as ugly as fuck, hen. You hate consumed piece of fucking garbage. You have shit for your brains. You inbred, primitive, evil beast. Dirty, filthy sex offender, nymphomaniac, sleazy, jealous, existentially envious fucking scumbag. Of course, though, your whole society is structured so the cunt can pretend that magically predates her evil. And then she can obstruct, deny service of whatever it was you're involved in, try and have put you out to that extent, or she can then phone the police farce she's 100% complicit with, who are run exclusively by a paedophile ring. And so this wee fucking hideous abomination, just like she's been doing for 2,000 years, when an invading army comes and says, "Haw hen, haw bird, haw chick, if you want you can peck this man through the court system," she takes it and she does it. Erin Pizzi proved that 70% of the bird brains that she tried to take in were actually admitted and laughed at. They're cold, callous abuse of innocent men, because these pieces of fucking garbage all bullshit themselves, they're martyrs, all bullshit themselves. Behind it all, they're just sad. They are rabid, evil beasts who are sex offenders who get off on psychologically abusing other people because the subhuman cunt believes transference is taking place. No matter how many times they're punished, the remorseless, cold, calculating, evil mechanoid that isn't human by any stretch of the fucking imagination, that needs shot through its face, it can be relied upon to destroy the citadel, the cannibal sheep. And when that fucking garbage lay their eggs, as the Zionist Jews told you about in the movie Alien, right? The alien laying all these fucking eggs. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right? And Planet of the fucking Apes. These devolution obsessed, inbred, genetic, evolutionary cul-de-sacs. They see that people evolving by hybrid, whereas they're devolving due to being inbred. So how do they get around that? Well, they genocide you, one way or the other, and females are the weakest link. Goodbye. So what I'm pointing out is, you then obviously have the exact opposite portrayed to you. Like Anne Robinson. Right? She's proud of having murdered one of her own children and stands there telling men that they are what she is. You are what I am. Projective identification. The illusion of transference. Because it makes the imbecile pretend that it's feeling something better. It's not. It's just a lying cunt who talks constant fucking shite to itself so it can stop wanting to murder people temporarily, right? So it wants you to choose to feel like killing them, grant their wish. You don't have to have any emotional reaction at all, but on, right? Yeah, do you? So, we'll try it, right? Do you have to have any emotional reaction to that? Right? She's a fucking arsehole with shit for her brains. The unself-aware cunt behind it all thinks, well, I'm just doing what I want to try and get that reaction. Behind it all, I'm actually secretly a good person, right? She needs shot through the face, right? Every single person, as I've already said, on earth knows that these white fucking stinking whores need shot dead. That's 2 of every 3 Western females has to be shot through the face, right? And I'll prove it. I repeat, almost 3/4 of the Earth's population believe white females should be exterminated. Right? Think how fucking self-deluded and in a bubble the whores of Dresden truly are. It's about to be burst. Right? If I'm right and they need to be shot through the face, I should be able to prove that they are being shot through the face. Right? Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a more moral solution. There is. There's a much more moral solution. I've covered it in previous videos, and I'll cover it again. Here's the thing. Right now, in America, every hour on the hour, a female shoots herself through the face. Every half hour on the half hour, a female in America alone shoots herself through the face. Couldn't make that up. Wait for it. Every second hour of every waking hour in America, right? North America, right? Right? Where the Native Americans referred to the interlopers as speaking with forked tongues. Yeah? Hint, hint. So, every second hour, a female in North America has her partner, right? 90% of the time, her partner, who is either her husband or long-term partner of many years, goes to a shoebox in the cupboard, gets his gun, comes down, and shoots her through the face. You couldn't make this up, right? Right, so that's every hour on the hour, every half hour on the half hour, and every second hour. She shoots herself in the face, she shoots herself in the face, and her partner shoots her in the face, and that's also the time that a female on her own shoots herself in the face. So that's 4 shootings through the face in the space of 1 hour. Exactly. 4 shootings in female faces every fucking hour in North America alone. Right? That's not including the hammer killings. You couldn't make this up, right? The hammer killings, right? Or in these other countries, which I'm coming to, right? So, these females are killing themselves in their droves. Why? Because of what they've become. They can present anything they want to you. They can squawk all they want to you. Behind it all, there is a sadness. There is a hatred about what they've become. What they arrested themselves as being. And their megalomaniacal, grandiose delusions lampooned by all the greats, right? So, they only have themselves to blame because of the way they maltreat those men who are up there. And I'll give you an insight into it, right? Before I do, any female who even remotely resembles a Western female in all these other countries is routinely executed, correctly so. Because otherwise she lays her eggs and then you have these antisocial pieces of garbage. I've talked myself out of my hole more times than I fucking had it. And I've had sex more times than any 10 males you can think of put together. Right? If you were to walk through the streets of Dinaltox and say to any female in passing, "Excuse me, madam, have you had sexual intercourse with a man called Erol?" "Aye, how? What about that?" Right? Then give it another 10 minutes, right? And then just stop any female at random and say, "Excuse me, madam, I don't mean to be too forward, but have you ever had sex with a guy called Erol?" "Aye, what about it? Still got his wallet." Then get another 10 minutes and just stop the next female and say to her, "Excuse me, miss, have you ever had sex with a guy called Erol? He's a living Christ." "Nah." "Alright, I'm starting to think that, he was right, that I think he's shagged about just about everybody in whole Scotland." "But he shagged my ma." So, I'm getting to the stage though where that would be, "But he shagged my granny." Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet going? So basically what I've done though is that in not shagging, by trying to talk myself out of my hole, right? If I could, then I would. And it's always been the case with me. You know, I've pushed to see I need say no more. The point is, what I would do is, right, I would get the female talking, and if it was going in another direction, well, I'd go there. And what I noticed was a common thread, which was je regrette, lament, right? They all had this exact same fucking story, right? I've been threatening to cover this, right? All these females had the exact same fucking story, right? It's uncanny. And 3 of them in particular were absolutely identical and didn't know each other from Adam, right? So, I'll give you it, right? There I am, right? Pished, a wee bit stoned, you know, and there's this female and she's available. However, I'm more interested in her sob story. Right? And it's basically this, right? They told me they met a guy, right? And thought he was the bee's knees by comparison to all the previous guys. And it went kind of like this. So, right, I met this guy, right? And I thought to myself at the time, like, I deserve better. And then basically the thing was like, I gave him shite. I was such a bitch to him. And then, you know, like, he then was like, he got angry with me. And so then I gave him, like, more dog's abuse. And then he left me. So I would then say to them, alright, so you were an absolute bitch to him. You didn't think he was good enough for you and eventually left you. Needless to say, I didn't get my hole that night, right, but... Aye, but if he'd stayed, if he'd only been able to see through my blizzard of odd, then, you know, I think he and I could have been, like, brillianted. So if you was precognitive and psychic, you'd have thought more of him. And then you'd still be together to this day. No, actually, I probably would have thought less of him if he'd put up with that amount of shite. But he needed to come back. Why didn't he just come back? You already answered that question in the preface. Lizzie agrees. But anyway, what happened was, right, next thing I opened the newspaper and he's in it with this fucking cow. I remember her from primary school. She's an ugly cow. It's the way with her. Right? So, this 3 separate chicks all had this exact same story. And I'm just telling you the one of them now. And they're all the exact same. And so, I'm thinking at that juncture, maybe that's it, right? That's all that's, you know, turned her into a hate-consumed caca demon, right? And then I met this other guy, right? And I'd like gone out with other guys and I'd like been abusive towards them because of that fucker. And then I met this other guy and like he made that guy no see men anymore. And so I wanted to go with him and like I thought I'll not give him my shit. This one, I'll not give him my shit this time. And then one night I thought I'll just give him a wee bit of my shit and see what happens. And he fell out with me, and then I got angry at him, and then he left me. So you decided not to give this one your shit, as though that was a fucking privilege, right? And then you decided to give him shit, and then you got angry at him, and he correctly left you. Aye, but wait for it. I got the free newspaper a few weeks later, and he was in it. Getting married to a fucking cow I remember from high school who's a fucking ugly bitch. She's nothing compared to me. I kind of got the impression though that they were more interested in the ring. But no matter how you cut it. And so I'm thinking at that juncture, still not as moral as I am now. I was thinking maybe I could make a move now, you know, one way or the other, you know. And Christ-like. So the point is, I stayed though, and this is what happened next. And then I went on a shagging spree. I just fucking shagged and shagged 17-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds. I didn't give a fuck. I was just using them and abusing them. I was getting revenge. Revenge. Pretend. Yeah. So you debased yourself in a debauched manner, pretending that was to do with these two other guys because they got married after you abused them. Taxi! Well, guess what? Eventually, when I was in this fucking spree, right? What happened was, because I was in this spree, this serial abusing spree, I met this other guy, and he made those other two seem like silly wee schoolboys. And because I was in this fucking mode, I abused him, and he left me as well. So, because of yourself and because of yourself and because of yourself, the third love of your life, who was greater than the first two loves of your life, left you as well. And you only have yourself to blame. But it gets worse. I opened the record and he was in it, getting married to this fucking cow I know personally. She's not as good looking as me. So I take it this is where I come in. You went on another fucking spree and you're ideally wanting to abuse me. Have another drink. Taxi! So, I had that experience 3 times, man. Those exact accounts that I've made briefer for you. So, exact same. Right? They saw this guy in the fucking newspaper. Right? And that was it for them, you know? And they only had themselves to blame. And this is what happens. This lack of foresight, this repetition, and this unjustifiable hatred when she's the fucking guilty party and she's been an evil fucking cunt to males since infancy. You don't have to say it in that octave, but it helps. Alright over there, how you doing? So, in a nutcake, I experienced those three females that I'm thinking of right now didn't know each other from Adam, right? And they certainly were ill. You're welcome. So, this is what I'm talking about. This is the end result of what Zionist Jews and Romans before them were dead set on. And you're seeing the end result of that now with these females killing themselves. They might present a happy, hate-consumed, triumphant, psychological abuser towards you. Behind it all is that sob story that I found out by being selfless, really. You know, a lot of guys just went, fuck up hen, you know, and put our heels either side of our head. There were those nights, in fact, most of those nights. However, there were countless others who had very, very similar stories. Those 3 had the exact same fucking story. But amazing. So, obviously the paedophile ring that's running the country, believe it or not, get these facts and figures coming in, where every hour on the hour, a female in North America shoots herself in the fucking face, right? And every half hour, and then on this hour, which is just only 1 hour that's went past, her husband of many years, her partner, shoots the cunt in the mouth, and there's another female down the fucking road doing the exact same. Result. Right? Wait for it. The converse side of things, every single day without exception, over 500 Chinese females kill themselves for a completely different reason, right? They're forced to abort their second child. They look at the Western female and think, she's got it easy, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't. But they think she does. They maybe want to have her lifestyle, but predominantly, one of the main reasons those foiled in their attempts was they were forced to kill their own child. Yeah, abort it, whatever, or even forcibly. And the grief they felt in their body, yeah, was just too much to bear. And they tried to kill themselves, were caught in it. However, over 500 are pseudo-successful every fucking day. And they play down the male figure